Hi, what's up guys? I'm back with another one. Another one of my learners asked me, "Sir, can you please do another trig question?" Okay. And if you didn't see my previous videos, I have dropped already 2 questions that I got out of past papers based on trig. Okay, let's do another one. This one says 4.1. In the diagram below, ABC, ACD, and ADE are right angle triangles. B angle AE equals 90 degrees, as we can see over there. Okay, and yeah, apologies, I said B angle A, so it's this one here, equals 90 degrees, and then B angle AC equals 30 degrees. Okay, so that's the smaller one over there on the inside. Okay, all right, so what do we do? Let's look at the question. It says BC equals 20 units and AD equals 60 units. Okay, and as you can see, that's given to you over there. Let's look at this question. So it says 4.1.1, find the length of, or calculate the length of AC. Okay, so we know AC, it is basically this hypotenuse over here. Okay, you guys with me? So we can now say that we do have an angle or a side opposite the angle, right? So we can say that the 4.1.1, the sine of 30 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse, right? Okay, so this is going to be the sine of 30 degrees will now equal, opposite we know is 20 and the hypotenuse is unknown. The hypotenuse is AC, right? So therefore we can now, again, we can cross multiply over here, so we can do that. Okay, so we can now say that AC sine 30 degrees equals 20, right? Okay, then we want AC on its own, because that's what we're calculating. So we're going to divide by the sine of 30 on both sides. Okay, so we know this is going to cancel, so therefore AC equals, okay, and then this we can punch into our calculator, 20 over sine 30. Okay, so we can go, you can hit that, 20 over sine 30, and as you can see there, it is 40, right? So AC equals 40, and we do know, as you can see in the question over there, it says BC, which was that opposite side there, is 20 units. So the unit of measurement in this case, we're just going to say units. Okay, so it is 40, so AC equals 40 units. Okay, so I'm going to take this away so I can have some space again. Okay, let's go there. We now know that our hypotenuse here is 40, right? Right, the next question is 4.1.2, and they are asking us to calculate the size of C angle AD. Okay, C angle AD, so it's this little one on the inside here. It's that angle on the inside over there. Okay, and again, we have now 2 sides. We have, for this triangle, we have the hypotenuse of 60, and we have AC, which is 40, right? An unknown angle. Okay, so what do? We can now say that next to that little angle over there is 40, which is AC. So what is that? That's adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cos, right? So we can say cos of angle A equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so we now know that cos angle A equals adjacent, which was AC, which is 40, and the hypotenuse is 60. So therefore we're going to shift cos. Okay, so there we're going to say therefore A equals shift cos, which is going to give me cos to the minus 1 of 40 over 60. Okay, and we're going to again put that into our calculators. So we're going to say shift cos 40 over 60, right? And as you can see there, that little angle on the inside there is 48.2 degrees, okay, rounded off to 1 decimal place. Okay, so now we know that therefore angle A equals 40.2 degrees. Okay, you know, my guys, my memory is so bad. Let me just have a look at that. It's 48.2 degrees. Okay, it is 48.2 degrees. So let's take that out, and we now know that therefore angle A is 48.2 degrees. Okay, so where does that go in? That's that little angle there in that corner. Okay, so right there in that corner there, that little piece over there is now 48.2 degrees. Okay, you guys with me? Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let's get some space here again. Right, so the next question reads the length of DE. Okay, so they want this little piece over here, the length of DE. We already have, for this triangle, we don't have the hypotenuse, right? We don't have the hypotenuse and we don't have the side here. So the hypotenuse for this triangle would be AE, right? AE would be that hypotenuse. We do have AD, as you can see, and DE we don't have either. Okay. Also, if you are now noticing, we don't have that angle in that corner as well, but we could calculate it. They did say that B angle AE, which is the larger triangle, they did say that that is a 90-degree angle. So that means that this 30 degrees over here plus the 48.2 degrees plus whatever that little piece over there is on the top of A there needs to equal 90 degrees, right? Okay, so that is again some simple calculations we can do. We can now say that 90 degrees minus 48.2 minus 30 equals 11.8 degrees, right? So we have that little one in the corner there. We now know that that is 11.8 degrees, right? 11.8 degrees. So we have everything we need to calculate DE now, right? So the question is 4.1.3, calculate DE. Okay, so we know again adjacent to that angle would be, or actually that angle is opposite to DE, right? So we know that opposite over adjacent would be tan, right? So we can say tan of 11.8 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, let's move it up here. So this is going to equal, now we know opposite is DE, we don't know, and we know adjacent is, was it 60? It was 60, right? So that's going to be tan 11.8. Again, we're going to cross multiply here, guys. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply over there. Let's take that away. So this is now going to give me DE equals 60 tan 11.8 degrees. Okay, so therefore DE equals, okay, so let's see, we're going to say 60 tan 11,8. Okay, so let's clear this. We're going to say 60 tan 11.8. And as you can see there, that DE equals 12.53 rounded off to 2 decimal places. 12.53, okay? And that is 12.53 units, okay? So let's go back there. So we know this piece here is 12.53 units, okay? Alright, next question says, solve for x, 4.2, solve for x correct to 1 decimal place where 0 degrees is less than and equal to x and 90 degrees is greater than and equal to x, okay? So let's have a look at this. Okay, let's take this away. Okay, so we know that the tan of x equals 2,01. So therefore, because they said solve x will equal the tan of minus 1, 2.01. Okay, so we're going to get that into our calculators again. We're going to say the shift tan of 2.01. And we get an answer of 63.55. They said 1 decimal place, so 63.5, sorry, 63.6, 63.6, okay? So we say therefore x equals 63.6, okay? You guys, let's look at the next one. So 4.2.2 says 5 cos x plus 2 equals 4, okay? So we can take that 2 over, right? So we can say now that 5 cos x equals 2, because 4 minus 2 will give you 2. Let's get cos on its own. Okay guys, so we're going to have therefore cos of x equals 2 over 5, right? And you guys know already what's coming. Okay, we're going to say therefore x equals the cos of minus 1, 2 over 5, right? Then we're going to go to our calculators. Okay, and we're going to say shift cos 2 over 5, and that's going to give you 66.4 degrees, right? They did say to 1 decimal place, right? So it's 66.4 degrees, right? Okay. Alright, let's go to our final question. It says cosec x over 2 equals 3. Okay. Right, let's have a look at it. So that is 4.2.3, the last question. 4.2.3. So we know that, let's just rewrite it. So we know that cosec x over 2 equals 3. And we know that cosec x can also be written as 1 over sine x, okay? And then it says over 2, okay? So I'm going to say divided by 2, because that is divided by 2, right? Over 2 means divided by 2, equals 3. I guess we could have also put it over 1 over sine x, and then we could have cross multiplied, right? But let's just do it this way. So we know that 1 over sine x, okay, it's going to be multiplied by a half. So remember, if this is over 1, we're going to tilt and then times, right? You guys follow? Okay. So what's that now going to give you? We're now going to have 1 over 2 sine x, right? Equals 3. And let's put 3 over 1. So as you can see again, we have a cross multiply scenario. Okay, so that's going to give you 3 multiplied by 2 sine x. So that's now going to give you 6 sine x equals 1. Okay, you guys follow? And I don't have any more space. Let me put it here. So we're saying that 6 sine x equals 1. So I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. Okay, so sine x equals 6. Okay, so we now know that it's going to be the second. We're going to be the shift. So we're going to say x equals sine minus 1 over 6. So therefore x equals, okay, and we're going to check this on our calculators again. We're going to say that shift sine 1 over 6, okay, gives me 9,59. Okay, and they did say to 1 decimal place, so it's 9.6. Okay, so therefore x equals 9,6. Alright, degrees. Guys, and that is all there is for today. Okay, please like, share and subscribe, and until next time, also feel free to drop suggestions in the comment section on what you would like me to do. I would be more than willing to do anything you guys request. Okay, until next time.